Good morning and welcome to Tuesday. I know I done a video the other day on a tarot reading I done for the collective and the pandemic. But what I didn't mention in that video that was that I was on a 10-day isolation because I tested positive for COVID-19. To my absolute shock and horror, because if I'm honest, and I wanted to do this video, I was going to do it in a few days. Back to the point, if I'm honest, I had quite a varied view on the virus itself. You know, I believed it was there, but I believed it was massively kind of constructed almost to kind of take our focus away from what was actually really going on in the world. So I was always like, it's real, but is it? Then obviously disaster struck, and it turned out on Thursday 2 weeks ago, I woke up, had an espresso, as you do, one of the strongest tasting things you could possibly throw down your neck, and I couldn't taste it. And it was really strange because 4 days before that, I went to a theme park, and I just felt a little bit achy in that. A little bit more tired than usual, but I had sunk a bottle of wine the night before. So it could have been that, because I will say this, you become massively paranoid about every feeling, every situation. You're questioning every day that you've had. And this is why I've jumped on and sort of made this video, because I want to almost make people aware that even though I work with people and I was questioning whether to do this video, I also want to help people and help where I'm struggling to understand little bits of life. Hopefully they can understand from my vision and perspective and experience what is going on, maybe. I don't know. But that week in itself was very... it was harder than the 4 months, if truth be told, because first of all, it threw away any belief I actually had about the virus and the pandemic. So I was like almost in a state of shock. Second of all, I just started back at work, so I had to almost rearrange everything and be quite transparent with my clients, because they mean a lot to me, because they are in effect, they know a lot more than a lot of my family and my friends sometimes. So they are in effect friends as well. And to be transparent with them and help them to understand. And it's like, don't get me wrong, there's some people saying, you know, so long as you've done your isolation, you don't need to sort of tell anyone. But I would rather be without the money and know I've kind of helped keep people safe, I suppose. And that wasn't those people being negative or malicious about it. They were literally just looking out for me as people that care for me. But that week in itself was almost torture, but then I almost didn't want to come out of it. So strange. So the 4 months that we had off previously, I exercised every day, I ran, I went to the supermarket, I done everything I could. With this 1 week, well, I keep calling it a week, but it was 10 days, probably, it's been about 11 days now. I couldn't do anything, couldn't leave the house, couldn't step out, couldn't go to the shop. I was like 2 of the days, if I'm honest, I walked around the park like later on in the afternoon when it was quieter, just so like I could see a bit of sun and see a bit of normality. And don't get me wrong, it was like a 5-10 minute walk, if that. And by the end of it, I was, not only was I tired, which again was the paranoia kicking in. Am I tired? Is this the virus, or is it just me overthinking? But I was also massively paranoid. And cut to today, and I've kind of juggled my clients around. I've given my clients the option if they want me to still go round to the house, because I'm a mobile hairdresser. But also, I've bought more PPE and whatever else as well. And I've always kind of sanitized everything anyway. But like, obviously, almost doubly so now. But then there's that point of, do I need to do it as much now because I've had it? You know what I mean? But of course I do. So there you go, another thought, another stress. So today I've got dressed, first time in a week, and I'm going for lunch, and I must admit I didn't want to get out of bed, and that was so hard. I've never been that person. I'm a morning person. I love I love just flying out of bed and doing stuff and cracking on with the day. And then I got out of bed finally, and I was like, shall I put on some music? Shall I make a coffee? Just those were stresses. Shall I have a shower first? And you know what I've done? I bleached the hell out of my flat. I Dettoled everything, my DVD player, my books, behind my chest of drawers, my radiators. I've done everything. And that put me in a good sense then. So I had an espresso, which I still can't taste. And then finally after that, I got dressed, and I'm feeling slightly better now. I'm literally sweating, a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious. So I completely get when people are crippled by things like anxiety. I'm not saying I'm crippled by it, but temporarily so. If anything, I feel a bit strange about leaving the house and getting in my car and kind of driving, but the thing is, I know when I do it, I'll be absolutely over the moon and really glad. But till then, it's quite a nerve-wracking experience, and so I completely get when people have shielded or people have, I completely empathise with it, because it's such a different experience knowing you can't do anything, not even something like exercise or a run, something I've always kind of like turned to in a way. And if I'm honest, down the darker end of the scale, I'm massively self-destructed. I've probably had 2 or 3 days where I've not felt in a different world. That's not to say it's right, and I certainly don't condone it. I definitely don't condone it, actually, because now here I am on Tuesday and I'm like, well, where has the past 10 days gone? But I just wanted to share my experience and hope everyone understands that actually it is a very real thing. It doesn't make you, well, it didn't make me as ill as I thought it could. I was a little bit tired and I just couldn't smell and taste, and I love food. I'm all about food. I couldn't smell my bloody aftershave, which was probably one of the most devastating things, first world problems. But that's me making a joke out of, actually, to make myself feel comfortable about actually a situation that was pretty shit, actually. A shit-tuation. I don't know whether this video made sense or whether it actually gives you any type of insight, but I just wanted to vocalise actually what those 10 days done was way worse than what the 4 months done. So anyway, here I am, picking myself up, dusting myself off, another coffee down the neck, and away I go. So anyway, I hope everyone is okay. I can hear more and more positive cases being noticed or said or happening around. So I hope everyone is looking after themselves, and I hope to see you all soon. So anyway, take care. I hope this reached you well. Bye.